let you know.
Should I not look as happy?
I'm
so tired. I look so tired.
All right, we're on.
Did everybody just see me do that? No, just
probably, yeah.
Hello,
can you guys? I want to see if they could hear us. Can you guys hear? Let me see what they say. We are live with Julie Rowe. I don't know if you guys could hear. Let me know before I start talking. Is it time? Yay, Ninja. Can you hear Angelina? Some of my mods. Can you? Is everything sound good and stuff? It's on like a 15-second delay, so sometimes it takes a minute. Well, you probably know that. Okay, cool, you guys. Well, I'm here with Julie Rowe here. How exciting. How many people are in the chat? I can't see. Hopefully they'll be, I don't have my YouTube up. I have my StreamYard. Hey guys, maybe all my moderators, you better be ready to do some moderating today.
I have a lot of haters.
Yeah,
the haters, they follow me around. I'll like troll the whole internet. The Julie Rowe haters. It's like, do they have jobs? Do they have a life? Is there anything they're contributing positively to society, or do they just want to hate? You know?
Yeah. No, that's the thing with some of the trolls. It's like I feel like they just go around to hate people. I don't know. That's why mods just be on the lookout, because I want everybody to be respectful. Because everybody has different beliefs, and even if you guys have different beliefs than Julie, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can like somebody and still, have different beliefs. So just be respectful. Like
I'm actually
a
pretty nice person. Just because the media only takes the 3-minute clips out of an hour interview that makes me look like a wench, I'm actually not bad. I'm kind of nice.
Yeah, we've been talking for a few minutes, and she is pretty funny.
I have a very
really nice.
strange sense of humor, but you have to when you're in my body, because when you're like out and about and all of a sudden you hear this outside like spirit voice that says something, and you're like, listen, I'm just trying to eat my Subway wrap here. Can I have a few minutes?
Oh shoot. Yeah. So when you do you actually hear like you would hear me talking when you hear?
So I have had that happen, but usually it's thought energy that comes in because it's telepathic.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm not familiar.
A lot of people have that gift. They just don't realize they have it. Yeah.
Really? Well, when did you realize you had it? Because I know you had near-death experience. Is that what made you? Oh, you always? Really?
I've always had it. But it's gotten, I've honed in on it better, as I've gotten older.
Like when you were a little kid, you realized that, like, how could you comprehend that? Or
I don't know. I came to the planet like this.
Yeah.
I asked questions in my head. I cannot remember a time on this planet that I didn't believe in God, because spirit realm was so prevalent in my life that I was raised in a religious home. So as soon as I was 2 and 3 and 4 years old, I already had a testimony there was a God, because I would talk to him even when I was 3. I don't know why I came like that.
What religion were you raised?
I was raised in the LDS church.
Oh, you were? Okay.
But they excommunicated me April 9th of 2019.
Yeah, why? Yeah. Can you say why, or what?
Because I have visionary gifts, and I have gifts of the spirit that I have been vocal about. I have also done a lot of podcasts. I do energy healing, energy work, where I work with trauma victims and addiction and things like that for people releasing negative energies. And then they didn't like what I had in my books. And so
that goes against
I will tell you. No, I will tell you why. This is my perspective, because we've been infiltrated in every church and organization on this planet by the dark side, including the LDS church. And I came out vocally saying that in some podcasts a while back.
Okay.
And that ticked some people off, but I was just speaking the truth.
Well,
that's why I came to this planet. I came to this planet with these gifts so I could expose darkness and speak truth, and help other people learn to discern true messengers and false messengers. And if anybody has followed my story in the last 6 years, or even the last few months, you'll realize I am a very polarizing individual. There are people that love me, and there are people that hate me, and I don't think there's a lot of people in between.
Wow. Huh. Are you an only child, or what?
No, I'm the second oldest of 10 kids.
10 kids? Wow. That's a big family.
Changed my first diaper at the age of 6.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Do any of
I
them
only
have
had
any gifts, or is it just, are you the
yeah.
only one that has the?
Well, everybody on the planet has gifts. None of them have the gifts that I do to the same extent. I can't speak for them, but no, I'm a misfit in my family. Yeah,
Okay.
big misfit. I think I'm a misfit on this whole planet. But there are, one of the benefits of going public with my story about 5.5 years ago is it's almost 6 years. Is thousands and thousands of people have contacted me through email. I mean, I don't know, 10 or 12,000 people or something. And that has been very validating because they have had some of these gifts, maybe not all of my gifts, but they each have different gifts that I have. And they feel validated that they're not crazy because I came out publicly with mine. And it's nice to get their emails because it validates me too. It lets me know, okay, I know I'm not crazy. I've known that my whole life. But when you have dark spirits always telling you're crazy, and if you tell anybody that you tell, what your gifts are, they're going to just call you crazy. And then you do share them publicly and people call you crazy. It takes, with that equal opposition, the degree of light you experience is the degree of opposition you can experience. So if I'm claiming in my near-death experience that I saw the throne of God, what does that tell you about the other part of my near-death experience that I didn't share in my books? Because I only shared the happy stuff in the heavens, and then I shared stuff that I saw that wasn't happy coming to the earth. But I didn't write about, when I went to outer darkness and I saw demons, because that was the degree to which my experience was. I was taken to the highest heavens, and I was also briefly given a taste of what it feels like to be in hell. And I don't want to be there. So I work every day to make sure I speak truth, because that's what I made a promise to God to do. And I remember in 2004, before they sent me back to my body, I promised the founding fathers, and I promised those that were giving me the tour, that I would come back to earth and I would tell about my near-death experience, and I would be vocal, and I would tell this country and the rest of the world and anybody who would listen that we have a revolution coming. We have big changes coming to the world, and they're going to be some really hard days, but when it's all said and done, it's going to be a much, much better planet. So that's what I signed up for. That's why they gave me these gifts. That's why they sent me home and they sent me back to earth again. And I've now, in the last, it's been 15.5 years since I had that experience. I've since had 5 others, and lots of out of bodies. And so I'm not making this stuff up. If anybody listens to my podcast, reads my books, look what's on my on my blog, looks on my website, and were to actually study my story and everything I put out there, they would know I am not smart enough to come up with this stuff on my own. I mean, I'm smart, but I'm not that smart, It's amazing stuff. And so people that say I have false visions, or I'm a false messenger, or a false prophet, or whatever, they can, whatever. I don't really care. I know who I work for.
So your near-death experiences, did you have accidents, or what happened? How did that?
So my first one, I got bit by a tick, and I got Lyme disease, and at the same time had Epstein-Barr virus that went to my liver and went systemic. So that was a combination of things. And then I suffered with those health issues for a long time. And then I got into energy work and started to heal my body. And then between doing energy work and healing my body and then going public with my story, I had very physical attacks from the dark side, from dark realms. And those were so violent and so awful that my spirit separated and took a couple trips home until I could recover. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I know I make huge claims, right? But the reality is, this is my life. This is what I live every day. And, when you have Lucifer show up and threaten to kill you, you don't really care if some guy's trolling the internet. You just want to stay alive and do your mission. And they haven't killed me yet. So apparently God won't let me go. He says I'm not done with my work.
Wow. So
I know, right?
Man, so are you planning on writing any more books, or?
well, when I first wrote my first book, I thought that's all there would be. And I came out publicly and I said, I'm only going to write one book. And then literally, like, you want me to wait for a second?
No, somebody. Oh, hold on a second. I'll let somebody else answer upstairs because then I don't want to have to get out. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Well, I'll wait. Somebody will answer upstairs. Sorry.
This just
I should unplug that phone. Okay, it's done. Okay.
No, we really are live right now. This is Kate. So I thought I was only going to write one book, and then literally the book goes to press, and like 3 weeks later, I get this message from the other side, and they start giving me the title of the next book and telling me that I need to write another one. And so I got a lot of crap from people online because I had publicly said I wasn't going to write any more books, and I've since written 10 books. And so
10 books. Wow, I didn't realize it was 10.
Yeah. So Chad Daybell published my first 5. We have taken all of those off of my website. So those are no longer,
really?
Yeah, those are no longer, the books that Chad published are no longer on the internet.
Why is that? Yeah, did you, why? I think I heard you say about that. Go ahead.
Because he's in Hawaii and he hasn't paid me my royalties and he gave me my book rights back. And I don't want to work with him anymore. And I don't want his energy on my website. And I don't want anything to do with him. And so I have taken my third book, Tragedy to Destiny, which is about my near-death experience. The first 2 books were written to more of an LDS audience. And then the third book, we compiled the first 2 books and made it into one book for more of a general audience. And Chad mostly compiled that one for me. And so I've quit publishing those books. The third book, Tragedy to Destiny, just went to press last night, and we have retitled it. I've updated it. I've taken Chad's energy out. I put all of mine back in. Parts that he did not include that I wanted included in the original version are now back in there. It's a bit longer. It's a bit more detailed. And we retitled it. The new title is called New Revolution, A Vision of America's Future. Oh, that's going to be available on Amazon.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
they can go to my website.
People are asking, so how did you meet Chad? How did that come into being? Was it just like
I was on an online site and I had posted my dreams and visions and about my near death. And then I had put a message out there saying, hey, I'm supposed to go public with my story if anybody knows anyone I can contact. And Chad was on that site and he private messaged me and said, hey, I'm an author and a publisher, wondering if you'd be interested in doing a book. And that was February 14.
So what was he like? I mean, what did you think of him the first time you met? Was it, you said you thought he was a good person, right, at first, or?
He was nice. Quite honestly, I thought he was a little bit nerdy and shy and socially awkward, but nice. He had a good heart, and I had seen him in vision, so I knew I was supposed to work with him, so I didn't question it. Oh, really? Trying to decide how much I'm going to tell the public.
So you saw like a picture of him, or how did you see him in vision?
No, I remembered being shown him during my near-death experience when they showed me some of what my life was going to be in the future. And then when I came back, I had night visions like every night for years and years and years for like 9.5 years. And then in October of 13, before I met him, then I had several night and day visions, and I was told that whoever it was, they didn't give me his name. They just said whoever that person was, he would contact me after the first of the year. I asked God what I needed to do, and he said, nothing, he'll find you.
Oh, wow. And he just said,
and he just said, basically the Lord told me, just keep posting your dreams and visions and near-death experience on this website. And so I did.
And so then you guys started working with each other and you became really good friends, right? And
yeah, in fact, I didn't even meet him in person until July. My first book came out 6 weeks. It took 6 weeks to write that book. The first draft was 3 weeks. Now you tell me if that's normal. Yeah.
Wow.
I wrote the first draft in 3 weeks. And so if people think I'm making this up, man, I must be really creative to write a book in 3 weeks.
That's So fast. Wow.
And now they'll claim, some people say, oh, she just compiled other people's dreams and visions from online, and yada, yada. That's all a lie. That's all a lie. This is totally legit, my own experience. And I wrote it within 3 weeks. I had hardly kept any notes at all at my house, maybe 4 or 5 pages of notes of my experiences just to jog my memory to make sure that when I wrote the book, I could be reminded what needed to go in it. And that was it. That was it. And I sent the first draft to him in 3 weeks. And then we were living in Arizona, my husband and my 3 kids. We went to Grand Canyon and camped for 3 nights, came back. Chad had the first draft edited and he asked more questions and I added to it. And it went to press May 14th of 2014.
Wow. I have a question from Rachel L. real quick. It's a pretty good question. You know how Lori's been claiming about the end of the world in July 2020 or whatever? What do you think about that? Or no, the second coming, or the thing that she's been going around saying? Is there something to that, or where is she?
Well, I think she and Chad are deceived for sure. They're getting false messages. I think that initiated with Chad and some of his beliefs related to futuristic things that he's seen. I talked to Chad about things he was seeing coming in the future and things that I was seeing in the future for several years. From 2014, when we first started writing my first book. That's one of the reasons he knew my story was legit, was because I had details that I was posting and that I told him in my books that he had never told anyone, and he had never ever said out loud, and he had seen them in vision.
Wow.
And it was one of the reasons I knew I was supposed to keep talking to him, because there was nobody else I'd ever met on the planet that had seen what I'd seen either. So as far as Lori and Chad, then they started getting into weird stuff. They just got into weird stuff.
So Tammy, did Tammy know that Chad had these visions and this stuff too? Did she know that was going? Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, their whole family, all their kids. Yeah, their kids have been raised knowing he had those gifts, and my kids have too. My oldest son was in kindergarten when I had my near-death experience. I was 31. I'm 47 now. And my oldest was 5, just starting kindergarten. I had a 3-year-old, and my daughter was 8.5 months old. So my kids, and even before that, I talked very openly to my kids about God and the spirit and angels and all that kind of stuff.
Have you had any contact with his kids since Tammy died or anything? Chad's kids, I mean.
Yeah, I did the KTVB interview with Boise, Idaho on Monday, and I did that on purpose. One of the main reasons was so that his kids would hear it, and I purposely said I felt like Chad had brainwashed them, and I knew that would hurt his kids, but I was trying to get a message to them, let them know that their dad is not being honest with them, has not been honest with them about some of the things, and to try to wake them up a little bit.
I was going to ask you about that brainwash. I heard that you said that. So did you really believe that he was brainwashing them?
I think in the last year he has been. I don't think he was before then. I think before then he was legitimately having experiences, and I think he now has been entertaining deceiving spirits that have got him on a path that's not okay. And he's committed adultery with Lori, and he's made a mess of things. And I think. Well, so here's why I said it, okay? Because this is what I was told by my angels, and it's been verified by some of the sources that I've contacted or that have contacted me. Past lives are a real thing. The LDS Church does not teach that, and that's one of the reasons they excommunicated me. But I have memory of my past lives, and when I looked through the window of heaven in my near-death experience, I went through portals, and I talk about it in my books, where I actually went in real time to some of these locations and some of these points in history. Now, that's a huge claim, but I have memory of it, and there's no one that can convince me otherwise. My own husband is awake to this doctrine now, but for a long time, he thought I was deceived. The reality is I know what I know in regards to that. So past lives are a real thing. Well, Chad and I would talk about some of that stuff. He didn't tell his kids about it. One by one, here and there over the last year or two, he mentioned a few things. Since I have lost contact with him in the last year, he has since talked to his kids. And one of the reasons I know why is because the morning that Tammy Daybell died, so she, according to the reports, she died at 2 a.m, and Chad found her body. Now, here's the question. Why aren't the police reporting or the media reporting that Chad was the one that called 911? All they're saying is that her body was found in her home. If we're going to tell the news and tell it honestly, why are we leaving that detail out? What's so hard about saying Chad Daybell called 911. He found his wife dead. Okay, there's one detail. So he calls at like 6 or 6:30 in the morning. Well, I am in San Diego, and that's an hour earlier, right? So that's like 5:30 my time. I woke up that morning and I had felt a shift, and I was like, what's that about? Well, I get ready and I'm going to teach a group energy class in San Diego. That's why I was in San Diego. And we start our registration at 9. I get there at about 9:45, and I teach from 10 to noon. Then we break for lunch, and my head of security comes over and he says, Tammy Daybell has died. And he tells me how we found that out. And basically, Chad's daughter had texted one of my contacts' wives, and that's how we found out, right? So I immediately get in the car. I leave, because I always leave and take a lunch break so that people don't talk to me, so I can have a break, And I go get in the car. My head of security is driving me, and I call her. And I talk to her for 40 minutes, to the daughter. Now, this is fresh. It's raw, okay? Her mom, she had just found out, like 4 hours before, right, that her mom had died. And her dad had never told any of the kids that he saw in vision or knew that she was going to pass away. But the first thing she asks me, and she knows my gifts and she knows her dad's gifts, the first thing she asks me is, did my dad know?
Oh, wow.
And I'm left with a choice. Do I lie or do I tell the truth? Knowing that Chad has lied to everyone already on the prepper website, saying it was a shock. And he said that at the funeral. Well, I am left with a choice, and I'm not going to lie, because I had been talking to Chad about it for 2 years, that he thought his wife was going to die. And I did energy sessions for him to release grief and all kinds of stuff, which is one of the reasons I knew, was because I do energy work. I help people release trauma energy, grief, sadness, sorrow, all those emotions. So I'm left with that choice. So what do? I said, yes, he did. And then she said, and she's sobbing, and she said, did you know? And I say, yes, I did. And I said, your dad didn't know how. I didn't know how. We were just told she would, and it would happen soon. If your dad knew how, he didn't tell me. Then she's crying and she's kind of speaking freely, and I won't go into that. And then towards the end, she says, we're about to hang up from a 40-minute conversation. And she says, you know what I'm scared about the most? And I said, what's that? And she said, my dad getting remarried.
Really?
And wow. I said, why are you scared of that? And she said, because I'm not okay with polygamy, and I'm afraid because my dad told me about multiple probations. Multiple probations is the doctrine of past lives. So from October 19th until about 2 months ago, I asked the Lord every day, what did Chad tell Emma? Why is she so afraid? And what did he tell his kids about multiple probations that has her afraid he's going to get remarried? And you know what I was told? Well, I put some pieces together, because it got back to me from 3 different sources that at the funeral, contacts of mine, Chad came over to them and made a point of saying to them that he was doing okay because Tammy had been visiting him. And he made a point of making sure everybody knew that. And then he made a point of telling his kids and some other people that the reason he could move on so quickly getting married to Lori is because Tammy had come to him and had encouraged him to marry Lori, which is a lie. If a spirit had come to tell him that, it was a deceiving spirit, because I can tell you it wasn't Tammy Daybell, because there is no woman on this planet or on the other side of the veil that would come to her husband less than 2 weeks after he died, tell him to marry another woman that he's been cheating on with. That doesn't happen. And so that is the background as to why I made the comment I did on the news on Monday. They didn't put that on the news report, but I told them the same thing in the interview on Monday.
Okay. Wow. So Do you think he knew Lori for a while when Tammy was
Yes.
still alive then? He did?
Yes.
Okay. So he
I know
was,
he knew her for about a year and a half.
oh, shoot. So it
At
was,
least a year, but my media contacts are telling me that they have reports and contact that it could have been as early as September of 2018. I know for sure they met October 26th because they were in a kitchen with a group of women, and somebody sent me a picture. The first time I got my eyes on Lori was in a picture on October 26th of 2018. And he was standing right next to her.
wow.
And
So,
they went to 2 Preparing the People conferences. I can't remember, I think St. George and Phoenix. They both went to both of those. And so whenever those were that Preparing the People did those, September and October or August, and I don't know because I don't participate with them, but
so,
that's just
man,
what's
that
been
makes
reported
me,
to me from my contacts and from the media.
so he could have been having an affair with her probably, right? And then do you think he had
He
any
was having
part
an
in
affair.
Tammy's death then? I mean, you don't think he did any, do you think he did anything? Honestly, I
Uh,
mean, what do you feel or what do you,
I don't get a yes and I don't get a no. When I did my first podcast where I came out so strong and I said, listen, I don't trust the media, I don't trust the cops, they're not telling the whole story, they're twisting, turning facts. I still stand by that. They are. But I'd like to believe that Chad's not guilty of anything. I don't know Lori and I don't trust Lori. And with what Chad has done in coming out a week and a half ago and publicly trying to say that the issue people have on Avow and elsewhere are that, you know, that they're confusing his beliefs with my beliefs, which he's rejected. That is an outright lie. He's trying to make me look like I have the weird false beliefs that he's been putting in his emails, and they are his emails to Lori. I had nothing to do with it.
oh, wait, anyway, wait, what? His emails to
Yeah.
Lori? I didn't even know anything
Oh
about
yeah.
them.
Oh
What?
yeah. The police and the FBI.
That's just
I've
very,
been in contact. I have not just done these podcasts willy-nilly. They have been planned, and I've purposely been saying things specifically to help people release energy and to wake up to what's going on in this case. Because the police don't have clean hands, the media don't have clean hands, the Vallows don't have clean hands, Kay does not have clean hands, Chad doesn't have clean hands. None of them have clean hands. They all have impure energy and they're all putting their twist to it. Now, people will say I'm doing the same thing. You're right. I'm looking at it through my lenses, and I have nothing to gain from this other than to clear my name, which I will do because I am a truth speaker. People can sling mud and they can throw stones, and they are and they will. I don't care about that. I want the truth to come out regarding what happened with these kids and with these spouses and with Alex at all
so
costs, at all
so
costs,
many,
including my
what's that?
reputation, right? At
All
all
right.
costs. Why would I put myself out here? Really? Why would I put myself out here? So more people can sling mud and call me a false prophet and that I'm deceived or that I'm crazy. No one in their right mind would do what I'm doing. So then they'll go, well, you're not in your right mind. I don't really care what they say. What I care about is the truth. And the Chad I used to know would never hurt Tammy and would never hurt kids. But in the last year, I don't know that guy. I don't know who he is now.
Do you
I
think it's
don't know
something
who
that
he is.
Lori brought into his life? Something negative that she brought into his life, probably then?
Well, we all have
Or,
agency. He willingly
yeah,
chose to be with her.
yeah,
We're not going to
that's
put it
true,
all
yeah.
on Lori. But
Yeah,
I,
you're
I
right.
think they're a bad combination together. And she had obviously a convoluted mess that she brought with her. Chad
Wow.
lived a very stable life. I mean, 30 years married to the same woman with 5 kids. His kids are all really great kids. And you know, but
It's crazy. So, okay, everybody wants to know about the kids. I know like a few weeks ago or a month ago, I don't even know how long ago that video was, but you said that you knew that they were safe. Do you still feel that way? Do you still feel that they're alive
yeah,
and safe? And
I still
okay,
feel like they're I still feel like they're physically safe, right?
okay.
I'm not seeing anybody beat them or starve them or hurt them or abuse them, right? Physically or sexually or anything like that. Um, Emotionally, the longer it goes, the worse they are. Depression, anxiety. Tylee has depression, anxiety. They both have like sadness, sorrow, forlorn, a lot of emotion that's been coming up, abandonment and rejection, frustration. I can sense some anger from Tylee. a lot of fear energy. They're wondering who they can trust. I think they were kept from watching any media stuff, and something's happened in the last 3 weeks where they are being exposed to some of what's being said now. And I think they're starting to question what their mom and Chad are doing or have done. So I'm picking up on all that energy, and it's affecting the universe. It's affecting me. I've been having trouble sleeping at night because between Chad's kids and Tylee and JJ and Tammy, their energy is so strong with wanting to call out and understand. And there are so many people on both sides of the veil that are so confused. And I'm an empath, and so I pick up on the energy that's around me. And the one thing about my gifts is that I can remote view across the planet. So it doesn't matter, you know. So like I knew they were in Hawaii. When I said they were on Lanai, I didn't know when. I don't know. Maybe they're still going to Lanai. I felt like I saw them on Lanai. They must be on Lanai right now. Maybe they were there 2 days and they went back to Kauai. I did say, Chad and Lori, I hope you're listening. They're coming for you. So maybe they left Lanai. Maybe they were never there. Maybe they're going to go there now. I don't know. I just said what I was supposed to say. And I'll tell you what happened to me the night that I did that. I was on a trip and I was in Utah. I did that podcast. It aired. Energetically, people were courting into me like crazy. I had to cut all these negative cords constantly. That night, I get surrounded by Lucifer and his 12 council members from the other side of the veil, and they mobbed me and attacked me. So I obviously said something right that pissed the dark side off, or they would not have done what they did to me. It took me almost 2 weeks to recover from that attack. I usually do 6 to 8 sessions a day for my clients, 4 to 5 days a week. I did 3 client sessions in a week and a half. That's how bad they got me.
Wow.
And you know what?
Man.
I would do it again. You know why? Because I will expose the darkness. And that's the behind the scenes things that happen to me that nobody has any idea. The price I pay to speak the truth. So when that's happening to me, I don't really care that people are trolling on the internet, other than they should get a life. Anyway, hi.
How is the chat? Is there hey mods? Is there a lot of? How's the chat doing? I'm looking at it, but not reading. I'm missing a lot.
We should talk about something fun, like war coming to America and how people should make sure they have food and water. I mean, if you live in Utah or California, you'd be stupid not to have water and a pair of tennis shoes and a flashlight. I'm just saying, right? You're gonna have an earthquake.
Oh shoot.
Let's talk about something else that's fun. Let's for real talk about something, because that's not fun. Viruses, coronavirus. This is just biological weapons. All these viruses, it's horrible. I would like to speak more truth about what the government's done related to biological weapons too, because these are military weapons. And there are thousands of different mutated strands that they developed in the labs. And what we see coming this year is nothing. 2021 is going to be worse. The good news is you can learn how to do energy work and clear it out energetically.
I never done anything like that. You said you were. How does that work? The energy stuff that you do, like how? Well, what do you do? How does it?
Yeah. Oh, I'd like to ask your viewers, how many of them get these random pains and all of a sudden they're like, ow, like what was that? All of a sudden
I do, yeah.
hurting, right? It happens to everyone. And when you get enough of them, you finally go to the doctor and the doctor says, I don't find anything wrong with you. I'm like, well, maybe that's because the dark side stuck a sword in your back and you just can't see it. You know what happens to me? I go into the mall and I'm like, oh my gosh, the energy in here. Or Walmart, it's the worst, right? If you want to pick up on entities and unclean spirits, go to Walmart.
I believe that. Wow, Walmart's a crazy.
But energy weapons are a real thing. Like in spiritual battle, they're a real thing. So you might like get a javelin in your leg, or somebody might actually do something that has it's spiritual, but it has a physical manifestation. And if somebody has autoimmune disease, I have never seen a case of autoimmune that the person doesn't also have Epstein-Barr virus.
Oh, really?
And so, and in the vaccines, they're purposely in pharmaceuticals and vaccines and preservatives and shampoos and soaps. They're purposely putting Epstein-Barr, and it is a biological weapon that they're using against the American people because they want, well, all over the world, because the goal is to depopulate so they can have control of the masses and they have fewer people that they have to. So.
Oh yeah, I believe that definitely.
This
Does anybody have any questions about?
This is why I have death threats. I'm warning the people.
I think I'm trying to see if how everybody's doing. Let me see.
They're all freaking out.
Wait, somebody wants me to ask you, do you know who Melanie Gibb is?
I do. I've met Melody once for about 5 minutes. I was told to stay away from her. She used to be Lori's best friend.
Okay, somebody was asking, do you think the kids are with her?
No.
I don't know.
No, Lori's one of the people that outed to the police some of the emails because Melanie talked to Lori and Lori emailed Melanie a bunch of stuff that Chad and Lori are about Chad and their affair and all kinds of stuff. So no, Melanie does not have the kids. The cops already checked her out.
So you don't know who has them. Sorry, they keep asking about the kids, which I know that I hope they are safe. I hope that I don't understand what they're doing.
I don't know where the kids are. Every time I ask God or my angels, however you want to put that, I ask the Lord, and sometimes he'll send angels to tell me, and sometimes I hear his own voice. So every time I ask, and I've asked every day, multiple times a day since this story broke out. Okay, so we're going on 4 months or something. Every time I get pretty much the same answer. I'll get a little clue here and there, but for the most part, I hear them say, due to agency, we want the energy to play out naturally. So whatever is happening, God wants that energy to play out naturally, whatever that means. Okay. So that if someone is guilty of something, if they've committed a crime, they are held accountable and the full agency comes into effect. Whoever that may be. If it's the cops for lying or the media for twisting the story, they're accountable. If it's Chad and Lori for hurting their spouses, they're accountable. If it's Chad and Lori or just Lori for hurting their kids or whatever they're doing, right? Maybe in their demented way, they think they're helping or protecting their kids by, having somebody else take care of them. I think my best guess, and this is just a guess, okay, is they probably hired somebody to keep their mouth shut and keep the kids. Because there are plenty of people on this planet that would do anything for money. And especially if they gave them some kind of legal reason why they wanted, like they basically played on the motions and said, hey, we're in a custody battle or the cops are trying to take our kids away illegally. We need you to take care of them for X number of months. Here's some money, right? And just don't tell anybody anything. Just keep the kids safe, right? Maybe that's what's going on. I'll tell you this, Chad and Lori have a lot of money and they're going through it real fast.
That's what I was going to ask. Is he making a lot of money through his books and stuff, or how are they have a lot of money?
I got a text from Chad last February when we had our falling out, and I called him out on his relationship with Lori and some other things. Okay. I didn't name her. I said, I can see that you were talking to other women and having phone calls and conversations, and I'm not okay with it. And then I called him out on some other things on his energy. He got pissed. And he basically was like, wow, I can't believe that. You don't know me at all. Right. And you know what God said to me? You nailed it, Julie. You hit the nail on the head. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. And he said to me in that text, I'm done communicating with you for the near foreseeable future. So then he never responded to my texts or emails or anything. I didn't email him, my texts or phone calls. I tried a couple times. The following March, I initiated a call to him and I said, I want to stop publishing my books with you. Well, I was getting threatened with excommunication from the LDS Church, and Chad wanted to distance himself from that. So he was happy to quit publishing my books. And he gave me my book rights back. And then a week later, he tried to say that I had to spend over $13,000 to buy my books that he had already printed. And I told him no, and I got angry and I said, God's telling me that's not what I'm supposed to do, because the money I make in my energy classes and most of it I make with my clients goes towards my nonprofit organization. That is where I'm putting my money. I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry that you printed too many books and you and Tammy are tight on money. He was so tight on money, he put it in that same text in February, we're having financial troubles, we're tight on money. The other thing he said was he was like, well, I don't know why he said in text, I don't know why you're so angry at me for suggesting you buy these books. This is how we're going to handle it. And I said, you already told me I had my book rights back. And I knew that they were still tight on money, or he wouldn't be trying to get money out of me for things that he had done in his publishing company. And there's more to the story there, right? Because Chad and Tammy had to file bankruptcy in 2008. Deseret Book almost put them out of business and put all the LDS publishers out of business in the whole state of Utah. And there were only two companies, Cedar Fort and Spring Creek Book, Chad's company, that survived what Deseret Book, who's owned by the LDS Church, did to those LDS publishers. And so I could see that, Chad and Tammy were working really hard to keep their business afloat. He was not making a lot of money. Although I have a report that I got from one of the media who said that when Chad and Lori went to Hawaii and they went to go rent a place from a lady, that Chad put on the application he made $30,000 a month with Spring Creek Books, which is not true, because I was his highest paying author ever. And my books in the last year and a half hardly sold at all because they'd run their course. And I know how much money he made off of me. For every dollar I made, he made about $4. And I probably sold 150,000 books. I probably sold 150,000 books. And he had already gone through all that money by February of last year. He was barely staying afloat. Barely staying afloat. He was not working full time. He was making some money on his podcast, and he was making money on the Avow GRI section where he would do a newsletter. He did not have a full-time job. He was just publishing books.
That's crazy. So did he get like insurance money when Tammy died then, or how is it?
Yes.
Okay, is that what it is? Okay. I was wondering.
But on the application in Hawaii, he lied and he put that it was Spring Creek Books. So maybe he had a policy on Tammy that he took out on Spring Creek Books or something, and that's how he's justifying that he put Spring Creek Books. Maybe it's like, hey, you don't want to tell the landlord that your wife just died and you're taking the life insurance money to shack up with somebody else.
Man, yeah. I wonder do you think Lori, I don't think Lori's gets any from Charles. I heard he changed the beneficiary. So yeah, they're probably just waiting for that. Wow.
Yeah, but what if there's a trust fund? Maybe there's another $1 million trust fund just for JJ.
I know. I was wondering something like that.
And that wouldn't surprise me. And then that could explain a little bit more why, anyway.
Wow.
I'm just saying there's a lot of weird stuff going on, a lot of weird stuff, which is why this case is so big and so many media people want, their hands on it, right?
I know, yeah. I just wonder how it's going to all end, if they're going to do something extreme or something. I feel like they're trying to hold out till July or something. I don't know.
I agree. That wouldn't surprise me one bit, because somebody said that Lori told one of her friends that they're just going to, ride out the media craze or something, Yeah. And it's like, that's not how it works. Maybe they think that, stuff's going to change in the world enough by July of 2020 that people will forget about them and they'll just, move on to earthquakes and war.
Yeah.
But it's not happening. And it's not happening in 2020. It's not happening in 2020. So what's going to happen when they spend a bunch of money? They're getting low on money. July 2020 comes. And the world is pretty much like we see it now. A few shifts, but that's it, right?
Yeah. I don't know what's
going to happen, when people in Kauai are so fed up with them being on the island that they make it miserable enough that Chad and Lori don't even want to go to the beach anymore. What happens? I don't know. How many times can you go to the beach and have sex until it gets like where you're like, okay, I'd like something more in my life? Yeah, maybe Chad thinks he's going to write a bestseller.
Man. I mean, look out. Is Chad her 5th or 6th husband? I mean, I feel like, why does he think he's going to be any different,
Yeah.
We'll see. I guess I just hope the kids are all right. But
I'm getting a lot of interference. I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? So I have a question. Somebody's asking me about this, and I don't know if you've been following. Have you been following the Gannon Stout case or whatever? Can you not hear me?
I'm sorry. I can't hear you. You try
I
again?
could hear a beeping. That's weird. What is that? Is that what you're hearing? Like that?
Life. I get interference all the time. Can you hear me?
I could hear you, but I hear a beeping.
Yeah, on my end, you just sound like ordy, but then it just came through.
Are you serious? Shoot.
Yeah. Everybody that works with me or for me knows, like, if they don't get a text back within 24 hours, then the text didn't come through or the email. And I just get weird things happen on technology all the time. I call it interference. Sometimes my husband calls it user error, but it happens to me so often like that. I had nothing to do with that. That's just interference.
That's weird. I mean, you still can't hear me?
It's doing it again.
I don't even know what to say that if you can't hear. Well, I guess, shoot. I guess I can type.
I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me now? Yeah. That was weird. That's weird. Wow. I did hear like a weird beep though, but I don't know.
We could have fun with this, you know. I could be like pretend I'm saying something.
Yeah.
They'll be like, yeah. Was that even a word? Was she talking? It's weird. I don't get frustrated with it anymore because it happens to me every day. I'm just like, whatever. It's just like no big deal. I laugh about it. That's why I say I have a weird sense of humor, because I have so many weird things that happen to me that if you don't laugh about it, what are you gonna do? You know?
Yeah, right? That's a good way to that's a good way to look at it.
Cry or get scared or freak out, you know? So
that's true. Anybody have any questions, guys? Can you guys hear? Somebody said that they couldn't hear. Can you guys hear both of us?
I can't hear you again.
You can't hear? Hold on a second. I'm gonna hold on a second. Let me do something real quick. I can't see right now. Just give me 1 second. I want to see if oh shoot, hold on.
I'll be like,
so you can't hear me at all?
I can hear you now. I can hear you now, but I couldn't. It comes and goes. Yeah. Can your listeners hear you? Is it happening to them?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Somebody said they couldn't, but I don't know. Let me see real quick. Yeah. Can you guys hear? Little lady, every time she can hear it.
That went through.
Okay, cool.
But there's an echoey. Yeah, you can hear, but there's like a weird echoey.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, somebody asked how did Tammy die, but we talked about that. I don't think you said you don't really know, huh? No. How Tammy died.
And the police are saying it could take up to a year for the results.
Why so long? I don't understand.
Okay, so the only reason they do that is they test the body, they do the basic autopsy, and it comes back clean. And so it has already come back clean. I was told it came back clean about 3.5, 4 weeks ago. It came back clean.
Oh, really?
That's what I heard from my angels. So now what they're doing is they're taking and they're testing fluids, and they're testing every little part of the body with different cells, and they're doing all these different tests with different things to try to see if there was some kind of poison that could have affected certain cells or could have affected the body in some way. That's what I hear from my angels. And so you can imagine they've got all these little vials, right? And how disgusting is that, right? What they have to do to make that happen.
Yeah, that's crazy. So do you think they're going to end up finding out that it was poison, or that man?
I hope not.
But then they would have to prove that he did it then. Even if they do find out, how are they going to know who poisoned her anyway?
So I've also heard from my sources that, so I heard this from family as well. So a week, one of the other things that I heard, I'm not going to go into that. Never mind. I'm getting a no on that. Related. I'm going to save it. Related to something else that happened a week and a half before Tammy died. But she had also fallen, and her calf was hurting. And so she had, I don't know if she had an open wound or what, but she was using salves and different herbal stuff for her calf.
Okay,
And
so
so they're testing those as well because they want to see, did somebody put a poison in the salve? Did something herbal kill her? So.
any other question? Let me see if there's some questions here. I know I'm missing a lot. Where are the children? Well, we already talked about that. Hold on a second. Let me see.
I'll tell you what, you guys, if I get any leads on where those kids are, I promise you I will go public with it. I will tell you if I get a lead. Even if it could be wrong, but I think it's a possibility, I will tell you. And I am working with media and law enforcement. All of the
That's what
videos,
I was going to ask you that. Are
yeah.
you? Are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have not personally contacted the police or FBI because I ask and God tells me don't do it. They have my number. They can reach me. I've made it very public that the police and FBI can contact me if they want. They have chosen not to, which I find interesting. And also, I know that the police and FBI have read all of my books and are in the process of reading my books for clues. And they're also on my website and they're on my podcast and they're on both my podcast channels. And I also know that they are watching everything I put out there with any media. And I gave permission to the media outlets that they can share the entire video because the news channel only puts 2 or 3 minutes in there, if that. And I'm doing anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour interview with every single news station and several that I've done that have not done a thing with the information yet. Maybe they're holding off to do it later. Maybe they don't believe me. I don't know. But I have talked to dozens of media organizations, and you guys have seen the few that have come out. So all that information is out there. I say the same story every time. Sometimes I add new details of things that I think of. And the police and the FBI have access to all of that to use in this case. And
And
so these people online that are like, oh, why didn't she help the cops and this and that? They don't know what they're talking about. They got no idea what I'm doing.
oh, I know. I've heard a lot. Well, you hear so many different things. It's like, where did you get this from? Where do they
So
get some of this stuff from?
I got some stupid people on this planet. I want to
um,
say we got some stupid people. We got some people that need to get a life too. I'm like,
yeah, that's true. Seriously, there are people they call, like the trolls that they come into lives just to cause problem. Like you have that. I
can
don't
you
know
imagine
why.
how miserable you must be to want to spend your day doing that? Really?
I know. Oh yeah, they
But
are
now I'll put this
miserable,
out there.
definitely.
Some of those are government officials that are paid to do that, just in case people aren't aware of that.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So maybe that
Um.
is their life. That's their job. They're getting paid to troll.
Oh yeah, that they're actually getting paid. Okay, shoot, man,
Yeah.
they make a lot of people. I mean, some people that just aren't able to handle it. I mean, that could really affect some people. Some of the stuff they say is
They
just,
do it with the plague coronavirus. They do it with political issues. They do it. So why wouldn't they do it with this? This is the top story. This is one of their favorite things to troll right now.
man. Hold on, they want me
Because
to slow the chat down.
they want
Go
to
ahead,
cause
though. You
more
keep talking.
fear, energy, and anxiety in the public, right?
Oh yeah.
They want to stir contention. They want people to fight. I mean, it's just gross.
Oh, it is. It's horrible. Makes me sick when I think about everything that they do. But a lot of people are waking up to it, like probably like 5 years ago, nobody had any idea this stuff was
Yeah.
going on. And now
Yeah.
so many people know. So that's good, at least that
That's
we're,
why I'm like, you can't believe anything you read on the internet as far as like, even with me, the negative things people say. If people want to know what I really am about, go to my own website, go directly to the source. Don't go to these Facebook pages that talk trash on me. Go to my
yeah.
site and read my stuff. And if you feel darkness, okay, fine, whatever. If you feel light coming from me, maybe that's your clue that I'm actually speaking the truth. And I don't know. And I'm not saying you're not going to be afraid of stuff that's in my book because I talk about some really scary stuff in my book. But hopefully people can start waking up to the reality of what's going on this planet. I mean,
Yeah.
are they gonna be mad at me later on when they get plague too? When I tried to warn them, they're gonna be mad at me later on when somebody murders their kid in front of them because they didn't listen when I tried to warn them. They're gonna be mad at me later when there's an earthquake and they have no food because I tried to warn them. Probably, they'll be mad at me no matter what.
Yeah, that's true. Um, You know what I wanted to ask you this because I don't know, I might sound
He's doing it
stupid, but
again.
oh, you can't hear me? Wait, where is
I
it?
can now.
Okay.
I can.
What is a translated being? I might sound stupid.
Oh,
I have no idea, Lori, when she claimed that she was that. What is that? I don't even know what it is. And I heard you talking a little bit about it. I'm just curious. What?
okay. So, like, in the Book of Mormon, which the LDS Church teaches, there's 3 Nephites that were translated. This means their systems change. They're taken up, and it's kind of hard to explain, but energetically your system changes. Then John the Beloved, right? He was transfigured. They talk about people in the scriptures that are transfigured or translated. It's the same kind of thing. Transfiguration is a little different than translated. Um, and the 144,000 will be translated or resurrected beings. Most of them don't even come, are not even on the planet. I don't know what Chad and Lori believe about that, but Lori's not translated. Okay. Um, she's not translated. And the dark version of that is a shapeshifter. So if anybody
Okay,
knows what
okay.
shapeshifters are, so the light side has their group and the dark side has their group. The dark side, they call each other shapeshifters. And it's a legit thing. But Lori's deceived if she thinks she's translated.
So they have, you said the 144,000, they're going to be all translated beings? Is that what you said?
They might be resurrected beings too, translated or resurrected.
Okay.
And
So, I mean, do you think she
some of
really,
the I don't know.
thinks that she is, or is she just like, man, I wonder, wow.
I don't know. They're deceived. I had a Fox 10 or Fox 13 or something. There's some emails that have come out where, communication between Chad and Lori. It sounds to me like they think they were supposed to lead this group or something. It's weird stuff. I don't agree with it by any means. It's totally a deception of the devil. Whether they believe it or not, it's all wrong information. I don't think people need to put much effort into learning that part of it because their version is based on lies and deception and false spirits that have been talking to them. And that's why it feels weird to people. That's why people are like, what is this stuff? Because it's not correct information. It's a distraction technique by the dark side. It's a confusion technique. And it's a way for the dark side to get people kind of freaked out. Like, what the heck is that? Yeah.
Man.
It's weird.
Wow.
It's weird. Whatever the false beliefs are, they're laced in those emails and that are being exposed. It's just yucky energy, and people can tell. They may not know what the truth is, or what really is going to happen, or what is real that they can believe, but you can usually tell what isn't okay, or what doesn't feel right, or what feels convoluted. Did we lose you? Hello?
Can you hear me? Randy, what
Yay,
happened?
yes.
Are
I
you
don't know.
there?
Am I here?
What happened to her?
Lori?
Yeah,
Are
no,
you there?
Julie. Can you hear
Julie,
me?
I'm sorry, Lori. My goodness.
Oh, there she is. Okay, Randy. You got some
You
questions
see
for
her?
her? Sorry,
It's
guys. Are
totally
you
okay.
there? There we go.
And I just,
I'm
Sorry,
here.
it just went out.
and I just looked at my phone. I have my phone is like on one little thin. I have like 5% left, so I better go
Oh,
soon. But
shoot.
I didn't even
Are
ask you how long your
Uh,
broadcast usually is. We've been on for an hour.
uh,
Who's
Yeah,
this
it varies.
guy?
Sometimes an hour, 3 hours. This is Randy right here.
Hi,
Can you
Randy.
see him?
Yeah.
Julie, it's a
Randy, you got
pleasure
a
meeting you.
haircut. You cut all your hair
Oh,
off.
yeah, hey, she's down to like 5%. Let's not talk about the hair.
Okay.
But
Ask some questions if you have some. You've been
well,
reading the chat, so you
Julie,
probably.
it's a pleasure having you here. Thank you for coming on to this channel.
Thank you.
A lot of people had a lot of questions, but
Yeah.
Julie, your energy, it's wonderful. I praise you for that. God bless you, girl.
Thank you.
And I feel that everybody here at the Tips channel, for the majority, has wonderful energy as well. And what I have to ask you, Julie, and I think a lot of people do want to know, they just want that validity. Oh man, girl, you got podcasts like crazy going on out there. I spent 2.5 nights listening to you as I went to sleep.
Oh
So
yeah.
I need to
On
know who
Eyes
I'm
Open.
talking to.
On Eyes Open or Julie Rowe show. Which one did you do?
I've seen a couple on Eyes Open, and then I also seen some on yours, and then I
Okay.
also seen the very beginning. I think it was I forget the poor woman's name, but yeah, you were on the very first radio
So
podcast with her.
I'll tell you this. I run both the Eyes Open with Eric Smith and the Julie Rowe show. Those are both my channels. But if people want free energy sessions, listen to the Julie Rowe show. Those are free energy sessions for people. It will help them clear energy. So
And I do
that's
agree
why
with you
I
about
do
the energy.
those. Yeah.
The energy is so important. It is. It's very important. But I don't want to seem harsh or just a negative energy here for you. But I've got to ask you this just for validity. In one of your videos, I'm sorry, I don't remember which one, but you had mentioned that your angels, I believe, had told you that the children are okay, and also that sources confirmed that. So, did you hear this yourself or see the children yourself
I have
personally?
not. No, I have not seen the kids myself.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
No, I have not.
I think that's something a lot of people I think might have been misunderstanding. And that's a lot of this. Is a lot of misunderstanding.
Well, people that don't
so
know me don't understand how I talk. People in my circle know I talk differently than your average person. If I say my source, my number one source is always God. Like I take everything to him. Okay. Not even my angels. I take it to God, and then my angels will sometimes come to me to give messages from God to me. Sometimes he gives it to me directly, but I run everything by him. I don't really, even the media sources where they were reading emails to me that supposedly went back and forth with Chad and Lori, even that, I went to the Lord and I said, is this a legitimate email that got sent, or was this somebody with ill intent? And so when I say source, if I'm not citing my source, people need to just assume I'm talking about God or the spirit realm. Otherwise, I will cite my source. I may not tell you what media outlet it was or what law enforcement agency it was, but I will say I heard from law enforcement, or I heard from a media source, or I heard from a friend, or I heard from a family member.
And I do. I get that. I get that because you get that overwhelming sense of joy, and you have God in your life. There's no doubt about it. And so, yeah, I get that. That would be your validity. It's just people just want to know, where the kids are. They need that validity,
I want to know too. And I promise you,
yeah.
if I can get anything from any source at all, I will come clean with it right away. And
well,
anybody that tells
that's
me
awesome.
anything on
Yeah.
either side of the veil, spirit realm or this side, will know. If you tell me, I will tell people. So,
Well, we're looking forward to hearing from you on that then. That's for
yeah.
sure. And hopefully it's positive news. And then I've got another question for you. When you say that you're talking to people on the outer side of the veil, or I'm sorry, inner, well, the other side of the veil, is that just us, normal human beings that you're talking to?
No,
Is that what? Are
the
you
other
talking about
side,
the earth realm?
other side of the veil means a spirit realm, and it can mean multiple dimensions. I can talk to lower dimensions where there's darker beings, and I can talk to higher dimensions, and I can talk to the spirits that are roaming the earth too. I have the ability to do all of that. I generally ignore the lower realm beings unless I'm inviting them to go to the light, or if I need to cast them out of my space because they're harassing me or injuring me. And I will talk to the higher realm beings that are of light that can speak truth. And the unclean spirits are those that once lived on the earth that are roaming and haven't found the light. Sometimes I will talk to them to encourage them to go to the light so that they can move on from earth. Because some of them are stuck here. They don't want to leave, but there's a much better place for them.
Yeah. But I do like Earth here too right now. I love living. I love life, you know?
Me too.
It's a beautiful world out here. A lot of beautiful people too.
I don't plan on leaving anytime soon, although I've got some enemies that would sure like me dead. But I'm kind of like a fighter for, I like Earth. So I'd like to see a happier, brighter, healthier Earth, including human beings that are on the planet, you know?
We will.
So.
Do you ever get visions about your own family? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Rand. Go ahead. You go. Are you saying something, Randy, or no?
Nope.
What were you going to say?
I was just rambling.
What were you going to say?
Did you ever get visions about... There we go. We keep talking at the same time, Rand. Do you want me to say it, or do you, Rand? It's like on a delay. You're like skipping. But do you ever get visions of your family, like for yourself?
All the time. That's mostly what I get. Yeah, that's mostly what I get.
Oh, wow. That has to be intense then.
So I have some stuff coming up, and some big shifts coming up that I've been preparing for many, many years. And yeah, there's a lot. So.
Yeah, I can tell by all your podcasts. My goodness. Very informative, though. Very informative.
Well, I actually have to go, but how long is your show usually? So if we ever do this again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like anywhere from an hour, just an hour to 2.
Okay.
Hour, or sometimes it's 2 hours. So.
Well, I have to go.
Or until the last coffee's gone.
But I'd love to be back on your show some other time if you want.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for coming on. That was fun.
Yeah,
get a hold of me.
And thanks to all your guests and listeners. I appreciate you guys taking the time. All right. Sending love to everybody.
Here.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
God bless you, girl. Bye-bye.
Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to. I accidentally exited her out. All right, guys. Do you guys, what did you guys think? Randy, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I just had to come on real quick. There was just a couple questions that I wanted to ask her. Well, there were more than a couple.
I was gonna ask her about Ganon, but then I don't know. I know you guys wanted me to. I started to, and then it got interference. So I was like, well, I don't know. I'm sorry. I feel like I let you guys down with my questions, but I don't know. Some of the questions you guys were asking me to ask, and I feel like I had already she already answered them, so I don't want to keep asking if she didn't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in your room, and that stream was just flying by. That's why I texted you a couple of the questions that some of the viewers were asking you to ask her. I'm sure you didn't see them.
Do you think it was I did all right or no? Randy, are you there, buddy?
You did fine. For the short time. Yeah, I'm here. Hello? Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Whoa, are you getting hit by a car?
Hello?
I can hear you, but it sounded like a big car. I was like, it sounded like you got hit by a car or something. Did you guys hear that? I'm screaming again.
No. Oh no! I don't know why my video went out. Oh, there I am. I'm
All
back
right,
again.
cool.
A little period of time you had her on.
Hey, Ballet
I
Babe.
just wanted
No,
to
let me say
thank
hi to all
you.
you guys. I didn't get to say hi to all you. Hey, Happy Go Lucky, Stitchy Widgets, Missy Cat, Ashok, Baby Love. Wow, there's some new people in here. Hey, Lori. Almond, you did
A
great. Always.
lot of new
Oh,
people.
thanks,
A lot of new
Lori.
people.
Amy, thanks. Well, no, in her
Yeah,
defense,
you
but we
know,
did a little pre-thing, and I told her that go ahead, she could talk because you guys hear me talk all the time, and I just wanted her to share her stuff. So that was already
well, that,
like I
yeah,
told.
for sure.
No, well, just some people are saying that I didn't get a word in, but I had let her know before we were on a live right before it started, and I told her just go ahead and talk because you're my guest, and I just I don't know, I basically said I don't care if I talk that much. So in her defense,
Yeah,
I told her to go ahead and just talk and say whatever she had, and then of course try to ask some of the questions. But so yeah,
yeah. And she's a
thanks,
bit
Rachel K. What, Ryan? You're cutting out.
not the podcast. Thankful for
Miss
the limited
H,
time
I'm
that we
doing
did get to.
it. Thanks, Rachel. Can you hear me? Somebody's saying I cut out.
But
Wild
there was a lot more
Angel,
questions I did
Ballet.
want to ask her.
What's that?
There was a lot more questions I wanted to ask her, but I mean, she was down to 5%. So what are you
Shoot,
going to do?
I know
What are you
I
going
had a
to
whole list of them, but as I was talking to her, instead of reading them, I feel like she was talking, she was kind of answering a lot of them that
do?
as she was like
Yeah,
talking to, it was like, oh well, so I didn't really get a chance to well, so she answered them, so I didn't have to ask, I should say.
yeah.
But did you guys
And
enjoy it at
we
least?
all
Did you learn
do. We
anything? I
all
feel like
believe in
what?
that positive energy.
Brian, it's hard to hear what you're saying. You sit down or something. You keep cutting out. Hi,
Am I on a delay?
Michelle!
Oh,
Sorry. What?
no.
Mrs. Chitter Chatter. Callie girl. Oh, thanks, Mary. Did you guys, CG, good job. Your first new mod we got here. CG, it's their first day mod in there. Hey, maybe. Oh, thanks. Do you guys think it went all right? Honestly, listen to me over here. I sound like a big baby. I don't know. I wanted everybody to have fun. She was fun. Like I said, I talked to her before, like about 5-10 minutes on like the stream before I made it live, and she's actually pretty funny. Like we were laughing, and she's really a nice person. Really, I know a lot of you guys might not believe this, but it does not make her a good person. I mean, I'm not saying either way. I'm just saying
True.
even if you don't believe that, then but I don't know. I liked her.
Yeah.
Oh
No, she
wow,
seems like a really great person. But and like I said, a
I
lot
feel
of
like
people have
I
to
get
understand.
good energy from her. Like I feel like good energy. Like I mean, I don't know. I just feel like she's a good
She's
person. But
uplifting.
what, Ryan?
She's a very uplifting. Seems like a very energetic, happy person, and rightfully so. I mean, she daily she gives testimony to her religion, to God, and we have to understand everybody has different beliefs and religions, different. But at that same token, it all boils down to basically the same thing: the right and wrong in life, the good and the dark. And but I guess she goes a little deeper. But we cannot fault her for that. I mean, as long as she's happy in her life, so be it. And I believe that if something comes of these two kids, I have a gut feeling that she will let us know. At
Yeah,
least
I
I
know she
pray.
will.
At
I
least I
believe that too.
pray.
Yeah.
And that's all we can do is pray. I mean, we're all grasping for answers from people, and I'm just happy that you had her on, Tiff. And unfortunately, we didn't get the answers that we really wanted. But that's, I mean,
yeah, we did. What do you mean? As far as she said the kids are all right, that's the answer. I was hoping she would still
yeah,
say that. I
well,
mean, I know
yeah,
a lot of you
that's
guys are
fine.
doubt, and that's fine. That's fine. I
Yeah, that's
totally
fine.
respect, everybody's,
Yeah,
if you doubt or not. But I also respect her. I just respect anybody. I
exactly,
don't care if they're different, they have a different way
exactly.
or different beliefs. I still respect them, and especially if either way, whether you believe it or not, she believes it, so I feel like she's real
That's
to
what I'm
herself.
saying.
So
That's
it's
what I'm
not like,
saying.
some people going around like just making up stuff. Like, I truly believe that she believes it. And,
Yeah,
I'm not going to say either way. I don't know enough about it. All I know is that she's very passionate about it. She's very positive in my eyes, very uplifting. She, really believes this. And who am I to say that it's not real? I don't know. All
exactly,
I know is
exactly.
that she feels it, and that's all I know. I guess that's my opinion, I should say. But
Yeah. So is she still with the LDS? Or no, she got excommunicated, correct?
yeah, and she's open about that, about her
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
excommunicated. Yeah, because she's kind of explained why. She said she was talking about like the dark things going on in there. She made like a couple posts. She said about like people kind of infiltrating like different religions, that being one of them. And she said she had made some posts about it, and they saw it, and that's why she
Yeah,
got
and just
excommunicated.
in
So
these two and
yeah,
a half days that I've been studying up on this, I mean, the Mormons religion, I guess, it's huge, but it's like an eclectic uh, points of views. They get all of their philosophies from a large group of people, just like we do on your channel. You have a very eclectic following as well. And we try to get these answers. And that's basically what they do too. They try to find out, they go along with every religion, but they take the best that in their mind out of that religion, So,
yeah.
I mean,
No,
it's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
oh yeah, but I just want to make a comment real quick, Lori. No, I agree. Everybody's entitled, so I respect you guys, and I don't have a problem if you guys don't believe her.
Oh, I
That's
love
fine, as long
all
as you're
your,
respectful,
I
and
love
you're
your
respectful
people.
in your comments. You could disagree, and even disagree with my opinions, but I love like other people's opinions and different beliefs. But as long as you're respectful about it, who cares? As long as and I'm sure
Right.
everybody. How was the chat? Was everybody pretty good? I missed a lot.
I,
So
from what
was there
I've
a
seen,
lot of?
no, not really. I mean, I think everybody in here was just wonderful. I really do. They had
Okay,
legitimate
good. See,
questions.
and that's
They,
fine that you
they,
guys
they
doubt it.
were,
As long as you
yeah,
guys are
yeah,
cool about it.
right. I mean, the stream was going so fast. There were so
Oh,
many
really?
questions people are wanting you to ask, but you couldn't see it. I know you couldn't because it was just going so fast. But no, for the
I know.
biggest
I just
part,
kept hearing everybody asking
no.
about Gannon, and I tried, and it kept when I was trying to ask her about it a couple times. That's when it was losing, losing
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah, I was losing something there. I seen that
Hi,
too.
Shannon. You
So
made
what
it.
happened? The
What?
Daybells, they went
What?
to what, Maui? Are they in Maui now?
Yeah, I guess they. Oh, yeah. So let's talk a little bit about some of the updates about that case. So yeah, I guess people they're in Maui now, and they are going to church there. There's a picture of them in church
Yeah.
at the Church of the Latter-day Saints, because
Wow.
Chad isn't excommunicated. They still go to that. So that somebody had taken a picture of them. I don't know if you guys seen it. It's an article where they're show up in church, and people aren't very very happy. Like, what the heck are they doing there? They freaking can't produce their kids, and they're coming to church. They're just acting like, oh yeah, nothing's going on. It's bull crap.
Wow.
And then what about I meant to ask her
Makes you
about
wonder.
that update that Randy, why don't you show your face though? I meant to ask her about the update of
I keep hitting
was
that.
somebody think the Ty Lee sighting, like what did she thought about that? Because in December, did you guys see, I don't know if you guys watched my last video about that one Indiana woman and three couples all thought it was Ty Lee at that music festival. Did you guys, how many of you guys watched that, or either watched my update video or saw the article Isn't that crazy? I mean, that's kind of crazy. That was like December 24th or the end of December.
I heard about it.
Did you read? Yeah. So what do you guys think that? Thanks. Oh, thanks, Athena. Thanks, Meredith Deals. That was, if you guys, that was like my first interview really though. So I was kind of like, man, I might not be very good at this because normally when I have people on, it's like my friends or like people that are just, you know, us, like one of us guys in the chat. So this is the first time I had somebody that was just like a guest that I just met and that, you know, that it was just like an interview type thing. So I don't know. I'll get better at it. I want to start doing more interviews, but so maybe I'm not the best at getting the answers that good, but that was my first one. So, oh, thanks, Crystal G.
Yeah, no, and it's a pretty big one. A big one too.
Roasted chestnut. I thought I answered all. I mean, because I answered the ones about the kids, but I think you guys, the kids ones, maybe it's the people that kept coming in and asking about the kids. Maybe it's because you guys didn't hear. Rand, are you talking? I think you're so behind that we're just talking over each other. What? You're like freezing up. Shoot, what's going on? Hello? Say something. But anyway, I think people were coming in and then after I'd already asked her about the kids and they didn't see. So I don't want to keep asking her because I already asked. So, but anyway,
No, I'm not saying nothing. I'm not.
Oh, thanks, Happy Go Lucky. What? Yeah, Ty Lee, you're right. If it wasn't Ty Lee, it was somebody in danger. And then the fact that they said, what?
Go in.
Huh?
I might have to go out.
Yeah, Rand, why do you sound so bad?
Okay, I'll go.
Come back in again. You could go back out and then come back in it. You could do it the same link. Try that. Thanks, Happy Go Lucky.
I think you did.
What was I gonna say? Wait. Oh yeah. So, oh, Doodlebug, awesome. You're having so much fun. Cool. What was I gonna say? Man, I keep getting. What's that one? Hold on a second. Okay, so it's whenever. Yeah, it's that girl was definitely somebody in trouble though. If it wasn't Ty Lee, but that she said all the couples called, didn't even talk to each other, and they all thought it was Ty Lee and made the call to that missing person. Whatever that number, I don't know, but yeah. So I don't know. That was December though, so that was still what almost 2 months ago. So I just hope they're still okay. I just hope. I don't know because I mean, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna? I don't understand what they're waiting. Like I said, I think they're probably holding off to July. But what are they going to do when July comes and nothing happens and there's no end of the world? And then what are they going to do? You know, are they going to let the kids go then? You know? No. Oh yeah. No, she couldn't read any comments, so she didn't see any of the comments. So, because she just had her phone in the car, and when you do it through StreamYard, she wasn't actually on the YouTube app. She was on the StreamYard, so she didn't see anybody. She didn't. So yeah. So that she wasn't ignoring you, the questions. She couldn't see them. I had to relay stuff. So what do you mean it's ridiculous, Teresa? Oh, are you talking about this case? So I have a question. 1 second. Hold on 1 second, guys. Oh. But so I saw. Yeah, no, Donnie Keller. I saw. You guys said that. Did they find Gannon? Is that what you said? There was a body found in Colorado Springs. Are you serious? You think it was Gannon? Rand, are you there? Does anybody know? Man. Well, thanks, Teresa. Oh, they're not in Maui anymore, Melanie? So what, they were only in Maui for a couple days? So does anybody know anything about Gannon? Randy, say something to see if we could hear you.
Hey, I'm here. No, I know. I just seen that too. In the beginning of the your live stream, I seen that too. So I don't know.
So wait, if I had the line, Lord. Wait, Andy, why'd you just leave? Wait, what are you, Miss H? So it wasn't Gannon? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. I missed all that. I'm just curious. Anybody? All right. Well, I guess I keep forgetting that it's oh, it wasn't Gannon. Oh shoot. So who did they find? Somebody else? What the heck, man? I know. I'd love to go to Hawaii. Maui was awesome. Left the building. He's not going to be found anytime soon. Oh my God, Joker! You guys, let's change the subject here. Unless if you guys, a doll. Okay, well, wonder who's the doll? Another somebody. Man. Anything else you guys want to discuss? Does anybody want to come on as a guest? You know what? Maybe I should actually end this one, since this one is just, it's supposed to be, yeah, it's because this was just the interview. Maybe I could come back and do another live or whatever, so it's something separate. Yeah, my sister was married in Hawaii. Hey, how did you know? "12 years old." Wow, really? Man. Okay, so you guys, you know what I'm going to do? I know there's 200 people, but let me end this one, and then I'm going to come back and do a different live. Do you guys want to come back or no? Will you guys come back? So at least I'll end this one. So this could just be the interview with her, and then we could just have our normal live. All right? Okay, I'll be back in a second. I'm just going to end it and then come back. Randy, I'll send you a new link, okay? All right, I'll be back with a new link. So come back. All right.